The European Central Bank finds itself at the heart of the Eurozone debt crisis. To save the euro, it has said it is prepared to buy an unlimited amount of sovereign bonds. The man, metaphorically with his finger on the trigger of that so-called OMT programme, is Benoît Cœuré, ECB Executive Board member, and he joins us now. Mr. Cœuré, when will the ECB start buying bonds under OMT?
Well, the OMTs are ready. We've done a lot of work on it. It is ready. We're only waiting now for countries to agree with the Eurogroup and also with the IMF for conditionality to be in place, and then the OMT can start.
And the most obvious country to apply first would be Spain, everyone is saying. The Spanish government has repeatedly made noises about how it would like to have some guidance, some more information, some more details on what exactly you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Are you going to tell them what level of bond yield is too high?
Well, first let me be clear on the fact that the OMTs are not here to lower the borrowing cost of countries. They are not here to subsidize the borrowing cost of countries. They are here to improve monetary policy transmission in countries and also to eliminate redenomination risk of a perceived euro breakup. We've been very clear on the modalities of the OMTs, and they are ready. We're not going to provide any more details now.
Okay, so the program is ready to go as it stands. One of the elements you've already talked about is that there's a threat of suspending the program if either the conditionality is broken or it goes into review and there's a negative review, or indeed that the review just doesn't happen for some reason. Now, lots of people are saying that if you do suddenly stop buying bonds once you've started, that could cause an enormous problem. The markets would go crazy and suddenly things would almost be worse than they were at the beginning. Is that not something that would in effect make you just not carry out that threat?
Well, it's not really a threat. I mean, we're not threatening countries. It's just a condition for the OMTs to be effective. For them to be effective, we believe very strongly that a conditionality has to be in place and countries' commitments have to be met. And so if we have evidence that countries' commitments are not met, for instance, if we have a negative review coming from either the EU or from the IMF, then we'll suspend our operations because the conditions will no longer be in place.
And that's absolutely clear that will happen, no question about it, and that they will then just have to live with the likely rise in their borrowing costs as a country.
Yeah, that will absolutely happen because it's a condition of the credibility and the efficiency of the program. Now, of course, I don't expect it to happen. I think it's in the best interest of countries, and also it's in the best interest of the Eurozone as a whole, of the Eurogroup, for countries to meet their commitments and to stay on their reform path.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've said obviously that one of the reasons for the programme is to fix the broken monetary transmission mechanism by which the interest rates set in Frankfurt have a real effect on say, a company somewhere in Spain or Italy or anywhere in the Eurozone. Given that the old-fashioned, the main tool of monetary policy, the interest rate, is there any point doing anything about that at the moment? That's at a record low. Is it so broken that you would sort of give up on classical monetary policy?
Well, the Governing Council recently has not considered it a priority to cut the policy rate. It remains certainly an option. It has not been a priority because the priority has been to fix the transmission channels in particular through the OMTs. It certainly remains an option, but as you know, we don't pre-commit on future outcomes.
Okay. Looking more broadly, I think you have a bachelor's, I believe, in Japanese. So the concept of a lost decade is one you're very familiar with. Is that something that we're living through at the moment in the Eurozone? Are we now facing a period of, at best, very low growth for a prolonged period?
Well, you know, there is this famous say by Karl Marx, I guess, who said that those who don't know history are condemned to live it twice. So we know from Japan what errors can be avoided. In particular, what happened in Japan in the 90s was forbearance in the restructuring of the banking system. And so one lesson for me of the Japanese history is that Europe has to be very forthcoming in raising the capital of banks and when needed restructuring the banking system.
Okay, a final question, which slightly changes the subject, but of course you're one of the 6 members of the executive board. There are meant to be 6. There's currently only 5. The man proposes the 6 having difficulty being confirmed by the European Parliament. More broadly, though, central banks are full of men. What's the problem, and how do you get more women involved?
Well, first let me say that Yves Mersch is uniquely qualified to become an executive board member of the ECB, so I very much hope that he can join. Now, that said, the European Parliament has a point. Out of the 23 members of the Governing Council, all 23 are males. This is not right in an institution which is at the center of crisis management in the European Union. It's not only about the executive board, it's also about national governors. So this has to be a collective effort by governments to identify and name more women in top jobs in the EU and in particular in the ECB.
Mr. Curry, thank you very much.
Thank you.